This is Krystal and thank you for joining me for this week's First Chapter Friday. Today I will be reading from the beginning of Something New Under the Sun by Alexandra Kleeman. Guildenstern. A man breaking his journey between one place and another, at a third place of no name, character, population, or significance, sees a unicorn cross his path and disappear. "My God," says the second man, "I must be dreaming. I thought I saw a unicorn." At which point, a dimension is added that makes the experience as alarming as it will ever be. A third witness, you understand, adds no further dimension, but only spreads it thinner, and a fourth thinner still. And the more witnesses there are, the thinner it gets, and the more reasonable it becomes, until it is as thin as reality, the name we give to the common experience. "Look, look," recites the crowd. "A horse with an arrow in its forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer." Tom Stoppard, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern are dead. All water has a perfect memory and is forever trying to get back to where it was. Toni Morrison. Chapter 1. On the palm-sized screen, it looks curiously real, like something he's already seen. She slouches in the drugstore aisle, clawing the skin on the back of her hands, sunglasses black and gleaming in the halogen daylight. This is the girl, a bird blonde, her head at once too big and too little for her whittled-down frame. Smaller than life, shorter than expected, not as pretty, torso adrift within a pair of creased track shirts and an oversized black sweatshirt with Gucci spelled out on front in serifed white letters. The footage has a handheld wobble. From time to time, it sinks behind a shelf, and you can hear the sound of close breath, the body of the camera holder hovering out of view. She keeps taking a box off the shelf, putting it back, picking it up again, against the background of sanitary napkins, pregnancy tests, and adult diapers. She looks aimless, misplaced, like a child rehearsing an adult gesture they've seen but not fully understood. Patrick Hamlin shields his eyes from the California sun and squints down at the miniature face on screen, shrunken behind oversized lenses. He can't help but feel disrespected, seated off to the side of these production kids, half his age but wearing better clothes, slim-limbed youths who picked him up at the airport and then detoured without asking to this noisy poolside bar, nestled in the crotch of an overpriced hipster hotel. The potted palms by the bar all have smiles painted on their trunks, and sultry, cartoonified eyes, made to be photographed and uploaded to the feed. At check-in, bowls of red rubber condoms sit gratis, waiting to be snatched up by smooth-armed men and women delighted at the novelty of something that resembles a balloon animal. Now he's jet-lagged and dehydrated, headachy from drinking a jumbo gin and tonic in the glaring bright, mouth dry and tasting of stale wool, as he leans over to watch their video clips on a scuffed-up smartphone, the armrest digging into his soft belly. Plastic glasses litter the tabletop, as the kids slurp from twin Bloody Marys as tall as a toy poodle. "What is this?" Patrick asks, as the girl in the video fingers the sealed opening of the little box, her gestures halting but not unsure. "What am I seeing?" "You have to start from the beginning to get the full effect," says one of the kids, encouragingly. A Hispanic 20-something in a short-sleeved button-up patterned with small embroidered horseshoes. "Like a horror movie," adds the pale, smooth-faced one holding the phone. His arm drifts toward and away from Patrick randomly. making it difficult to follow the tiny happenings on the tiny screen. You need those shots of the suburbs and hedges and mailboxes to prep for the massacre that comes later, when the violence is unleashed. The viewer can't comfort themselves by thinking it's a neighborhood fundamentally different from their own. They've already swallowed the pill. Like at the beginning of Scream, where she's making popcorn on the stovetop, says the one in the horseshoe shirt. Yeah. Or in Triumph of the Undead Dead, where they're in a used car lot arguing over the price of a station wagon right before they get devoured, says the arm. Devoured? Patrick has no idea what he's supposed to be looking for. The girl on screen is famous, he knows, but he can't imagine why. She has long yellow hair and an overstuffed pout. She could be any teenager at the mall. An expensive mall, riding the escalator up and down in the afternoon stupor, clutching outsized shopping bags in both hands that swing slowly in the breeze. In the small and possibly clear picture, her mouth is set in a stiff line, but somehow he senses that she could burst into tears at any moment. She reminds him of his daughter. Or is it a combination of his daughter and his wife? On a screen in his mind, he sees their delicate mouths projected side by side, familiar lips that he's wiped with a towel, precisely etched and painfully exact, the pale, satiny pink of carnations or cooked shrimp. Back on the East Coast, 3 hours ahead, they must be setting the table for dinner, portioning out scoopfuls of pasta and salad, his 9-year-old daughter frowning in concentration as she folds flimsy paper napkins in half. Lately, whenever he tries to picture their faces, whether smiling or unsmiling, the image won't hold. Involuntarily, he always sees the smooth lines tremble and collapse into twists of emotion, the unbeautiful shapes of someone about to cry. Skip ahead, says Horseshoe Shirt to the other. We're losing him. But think about how much of the story we'll lose, the arm argues, if we rush it. The ambient time, boredom, irritation, atmosphere, the texture, the suspense. A long stasis that, like winter blossoming into spring, reveals surprises within. What this sort of footage lacks in plot structure, it gains back in the quiet sorcery of something happening out of nothing. Monotony upended by the eruption of something new. The cinephile in me can't abide. And if you would like to know what happens next, you can check this title out on the Libby app. Please join me here next week as I read from the beginning of Jesse Greengrass's The High House. Thank you and have a great week.